Celebrities know how to light up the spotlight, but when interviewers cross the line, they can shut it down faster than a mic drop. Let's look into the unforgettable moments when stars turned the tables and showed us how it's done. 1. Starting with Ronaldo in June 2016, Cristiano Ronaldo shocked everyone with a dramatic moment that no one saw coming. The pressure was on as Portugal faced Hungary in a key European Championship match, and Ronaldo was frustrated after a poor performance in the previous game. As he walked to clear his head, a reporter from CMTV, Diogo Torres, approached him with the simple question, "Are you ready for the match?" Ronaldo had had enough. Without saying a word, he grabbed the reporter's microphone and tossed it straight into a nearby lake before walking off.
Ronaldo, preparado para este jogo hoje?
Torres, left stunned, later admitted he wasn't sure why Ronaldo reacted this way, but he suspected it was linked to the channel's negative coverage of the star. The moment became unforgettable, and Ronaldo did not apologize, leaving Torres to wonder about the fate of his microphone. This fiery incident showed that even the most prominent stars have their breaking points. Sometimes, the pressure can boil over unexpectedly. Salted 2. In this next clip, tension was thick in the air as Tom Cruise faced a line of questioning that no one saw coming. In an interview after his divorce from Nicole Kidman, the interviewer, Peter, asked if Nicole was the love of his life. Cruise responded calmly but sharply. "What do you mean, Peter? We were married for 10 years and raised children together."
Was Nicole the love of your life?
What do you mean, Peter?
You were married for 10 years?
Listen, we raised children.
However, things escalated quickly when Peter asked if they still talked about parenting and professional matters.
Have a relationship where you talk, it's a parenting relationship, and talk professionally about each other's...
Cruise's frustration became apparent as he said, "You're stepping over the line now. If you want to know something, take responsibility for it."
Peter, people want to know.
Peter, you want to know. Take responsibility for what you want to know.
It was evident that Cruise was done with the personal questions and clarified that this conversation was between him and the interviewer, not anyone else. As Cruise continued, he expressed his love for Nicole and wished her happiness, but firmly told Peter to put your manners back in.
Just put your manners back in.
After realizing his mistake, the interviewer apologized, but Cruise answered, "Yes, you were out of line."
Well, I apologise for that sincerely.
Good.
The moment became unforgettable, showing that even the most prominent stars can have their limits regarding personal questions, and respect for boundaries is key. When it comes to shutting down awkward questions, Tom Hardy is a master. In 2015, Tom Hardy faced a reporter who crossed the line with personal questions, but he handled it like a pro. The reporter asked about Hardy's sexuality, suggesting it was a bit ambiguous, and asking if celebrities find it difficult to talk about such topics with the media.
In the film, your character Ronnie is very open about his sexuality, but given interviews you've done in the past, your own sexuality seems a bit more ambiguous. Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
Hardy, clearly annoyed but composed, calmly asked, "What are you talking about?"
"What on earth are you on about?"
The reporter didn't back off, pushing further, but Hardy wasn't having it. He firmly responded, "Are you asking about my sexuality?" setting clear boundaries about his personal life.
Are you asking me about my sexuality?
After a brief exchange, Hardy wrapped things up with a simple thank you, signaling that the conversation was over.
Thank you.
His direct and respectful approach won praise from many, showing that even in frustrating situations, he was in control. Hardy proved that you don't need to be rude to shut down a disrespectful interview. Sometimes, all it takes is confidence and a clear boundary. In 2009, Matt Lauer found himself in hot water after making awkward comments to Sandra Bullock during an interview about her film, The Proposal. Lauer awkwardly said, "The major thing that's changed since you were last here is that I've seen you naked."
The major thing that's changed since you were here last?
Yes.
I have now seen you naked.
I'm so sorry about that. Were you able to sleep afterward?
And I'm so sorry about that.
I have seen you naked.
Were you able to sleep afterward?
Uncomfortable, Bullock tried to shift the conversation, but Lauer pressed on, asking, "Did you see the scene?" Bullock quickly corrected him, saying, "I'm not naked for most of it, just emotionally naked, except for a carefully placed washcloth."
No,
Long
I'm
stretch.
not. I'm not naked for most of this.
Except for a-
Emotionally naked.
Except for a... That's such an acting
Thank
thing.
you.
Lauer's comments were widely criticized as inappropriate and unprofessional, and they would later be followed by serious allegations of sexual misconduct in 2017, leading to his firing from NBC News. In hindsight, Bullock's hesitation to return for another interview with Lauer seemed entirely justified. This moment reminds us of the importance of respecting boundaries and knowing when to stop discussing uncomfortable topics. As an interviewer, it's vital to be aware of your words, as crossing the line can have serious consequences. The list may end soon, but the series of celebs shutting down interviewers didn't end there. After his dominant victory over Tyron Woodley at UFC Vegas 11, Colby Covington grabbed the mic at the post-fight press conference and made a bold statement that turned heads. He wasted no time calling out woke athletes like LeBron James, making it clear that his loyalty lies with law enforcement, first responders, and the military.
So he took the easy way out. I don't blame him. He's a spineless coward, just like LeBron James.
He dedicated his win to these frontline heroes, saying, "You keep us safe, not these woke athletes." The fighter didn't hold back, insisting that while some athletes use their platform for politics, he stood firm for the people who protect and serve the country. As if that wasn't enough, Covington added fuel to the fire by voicing his support for Donald Trump, confidently predicting a second term for the former president in the upcoming election.
I fight every single day, not only for the Trumps, but for the troops.
His fiery speech certainly made an impact, drawing attention and sparking debate. Colby Covington's comments echoed like a punch after his victory, showing that he's not just a fighter in the octagon, but also ready to fight for his beliefs. Whether you agree with him or not, his words certainly made waves in sports and beyond. Above all, best known for his boldness, Elon Musk delivered a masterclass in shutting down a reporter during a live interview. When BBC's James Clayton questioned him about misinformation and hate speech, Musk didn't hold back. The reporter challenged Musk's stance on freedom of speech, particularly around controversial figures like Andrew Tate and QAnon conspiracies. But Musk made it clear: who gets to define misinformation? Who is the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC? He asked, calling out the network's history of false reporting.
Who is the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
When the reporter insisted that misinformation could cause actual harm, Musk pressed further, pointing out that even the BBC has gotten things wrong over the years.
What I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false.
This exchange made it clear that Musk wasn't afraid to challenge the BBC, proving that even in the face of uncomfortable questions, he was more than ready to defend his position. Also, the conversation shifted to Twitter, with Clayton asking Musk about hate speech on the platform.
Particularly around hate speech in the company.
Musk responded that he doesn't use the For You feed much, and when asked for examples of hateful content, he couldn't name a single one.
I think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned.
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything.
Musk called the reporter's claim false and accused him of lying. "You can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet," Musk pressed, exposing the reporter's lack of evidence. It was a moment of pure confrontation, showing Musk's unwavering ability to stand his ground. Have you ever seen a fun moment turn into a heated exchange? If not, watch this. On The View, Joy Behar tried to push Matthew McConaughey's buttons, but it only led to a memorable moment of tension. The clash began when Behar interrupted McConaughey to make a jab at his close friend, Novak Djokovic. McConaughey, clearly uncomfortable, tried to keep it light, mentioning how much he enjoyed attending Djokovic's matches and sitting with his family. But Behar wasn't done. She pressed further, questioning McConaughey about his political views, asking, "Do you think you can win in Texas if you're anti-gun?"
Do you think you could get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
McConaughey, who wasn't in the mood for games, said, If you want a direct answer, I'm not interested in playing that game.
If me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is me playing a game that I'm not interested in playing.
Okay,
To give you a direct statement right there.
His response showed that he wasn't willing to engage in political sparring. Throughout the exchange, McConaughey maintained his composure, showing that he wasn't easily rattled despite Bahar's attempts to get a rise out of him. The tension in the air was palpable, but McConaughey's calm demeanor made it clear he wasn't here for the drama. During a live morning show, Bill Burr proved why he's a comedy master when he expertly shut down the host's awkward attempts to control the interview. The host, clearly unprepared, bounced between topics like global warming and cereal mascots, trying to keep things light and family-friendly. But Burr wasn't having it. When the host warned him to stay G-rated after a joke about the Super Bowl, Burr fired back with a sarcastic apology, shifting the mood instantly. Things took a bizarre turn when the host tried to steer the conversation toward a trivia game about cereal mascots. Burr, not missing a beat, turned the segment into a hilarious critique of the questions. He roasted the mascots, humorously pointing out their absurdity and ties to sugary cereals. By the end of the segment, Burr's sharp wit had taken over the interview, leaving the host fumbling to regain control. Burr's ability to turn awkward moments into comedic gold showcased his true talent, handling any situation with humor and style. Finally, in a hilarious moment on The Letterman Show, Ricky Gervais didn't hold back when the host questioned him about his Golden Globes behavior. Letterman brought up Gervais's controversial comments about golf and his penis, but Ricky fired back, suggesting that it was just part of his party trick.
The references were golf, you playing golf, and your penis.
With a sarcastic tone, he quipped, "Get me a bell, and I'll do my best."
Trick. Get me a bell and I'll do my best.
Turning the awkward situation into pure comedy. He calmly explained his choice of words and even joked about his tiny penis, showcasing his unbothered attitude and sharp humor. The audience loved it, and Ricky effortlessly owned the moment. Later in the conversation, Letterman tried to compliment Gervais on his looks, but Ricky wasn't having it. He called out Letterman for not praising him when he was pear-shaped and joked that if he had gotten compliments earlier, he would have worked out sooner. The playful back and forth showed how Gervais could turn subtle jabs into a comedic exchange, leaving Letterman flustered. Outro, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.